The entire world of football has been thrown into mourning following the tragic passing of Diogo Jota. We at Goal90 are using this avenue to send our deepest condolences to the family and friends of the late footballer during these difficult times. Learning about the death of the Portuguese came as a real shock to everyone, and it will definitely take some time for everyone to get over this. There have been a few deaths that have made the football world feel like this, and we're going to take this opportunity to remember some of the sport's fallen soldiers. These are 7 football deaths that shook the entire world. Of course, we'll start with Diogo Jota. It was reported that the 28-year-old footballer died in the early hours of Thursday the 3rd of July in an auto crash. He and his brother were driving on the A52 motorway which connects Portugal and Spain, and neither of them survived. According to the Spanish Civil Guard, the footballer was driving his Lamborghini Aventador, and while he was trying to overtake a car in front of him, his tires exploded, causing the car to veer off the road and then go up in flames. Jota was a super sweet guy with whom everyone loved to be, and this death has really left millions of fans all around the world devastated. To make this that bit worse, his passing came only 10 days after he got married to his longtime girlfriend Ruta Cardoso. Another death that really made the world stop was that of Andres Escobar, who was unalived in his own hometown shortly after Colombia were ousted from the USA '94 World Cup. Escobar scored an own goal in a group game against the United States, and that was what led to his death. After Colombia were knocked out, Escobar initially wanted to go to Las Vegas to visit family, but he eventually decided to just head back to his hometown of Medellin, Colombia. The whole world still wishes he didn't. Back at Medellin, Escobar went out with his friends, and at 3 a.m. when the footballer was alone in the car park, he was ambushed by 3 men and was subsequently shot 6 times. According to reports, the shooter shouted "goal" with each of the 6 shots because a commentator had shouted "goal" 6 times following Escobar's own goal against the US. He was arrested and sentenced to 43 years in prison, but he ended up serving only 11 years and was out on the streets in 2005. No thanks to alleged corruption in the country. The city of Medellin made a posthumous statue of Escobar, which was unveiled just before the 2001 Copa America, which was hosted in Colombia. Another one that really broke hearts was that of Emiliano Sala. Ahead of a move from Nantes to Cardiff City in 2019, Sala flew to Cardiff on the 19th of January 2019 for his medicals. After completing it, he hopped on the plane back to Nantes to say goodbye to his teammates and collect his belongings so he could move permanently to Cardiff on the 21st of January. On the 21st, he took off from France, but his plane never landed. It disappeared off Alderney. After searching for him and the pilot for weeks, Sala's body was eventually found on the 7th of February. But what made everything even more heartbreaking was the voice message Sala left for his friends on WhatsApp just before his disappearance. The last time anyone ever heard from the footballer. He said, "Hello my brothers, how are you? Boy, I'm tired. I was here in Nantes taking care of things, and it never stops. It never stops. It never stops. Anyway, guys, I'm up in this plane that feels like it's falling to pieces, and I'm going to Cardiff. It's crazy. We start tomorrow. Training in the afternoon, guys, in my new team. Let's see what happens. So, how's it going with you guys? All good? If in an hour and a half you have no news from me, I don't know if they are going to send someone to look for me because they cannot find me, but you will know. Man, I'm scared." Up next is Marc-Vivien Foé, and what made his case very difficult to take was that he died on the field of play while representing his country, Cameroon, during the 2003 FIFA Confederations Cup. The very sad moment came on the 26th of June 2003 in the semi-final matchup between Cameroon and Colombia in Lyon. There were attempts to resuscitate him on the pitch and more attempts to restart his heart after he had been stretchered off, but none really worked. He was still alive when he arrived at the stadium's medical center, but he passed away shortly after. It was later reported that Foé died as a result of a heart condition called hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, which is known to significantly increase the risk of sudden death during physical exercise. Despite the fact that he was only there for 1 season on loan, Manchester City retired the number 23 shirt as a tribute to the 28-year-old midfielder. Now, this next one was so much more heartbreaking because it wasn't just one player, it was almost an entire team all at once. It was way back in 1958 when a British European Airways flight carrying the Manchester United squad, nicknamed the Busby Babes, crashed on its 3rd takeoff attempt. The team was returning to Manchester from Munich after a European Cup game against Red Star Belgrade. The plane initially took off from Belgrade but stopped at Munich for refueling. Takeoff from Munich was a bit of a hassle no thanks to the weather and the condition of the aircraft. The first 2 attempts at takeoff yielded nothing. Ahead of the 3rd attempt, one of the Manchester United players, Billy Whelan, said, "This may be death, but I'm ready." And sadly, it was indeed death, not for 1, 2, or 3, but for many. Following the crash shortly after takeoff, 20 people were declared dead at the scene. 1 died on the way to the hospital, and an extra 2 died a few weeks later while in hospital. There were a few survivors though, including the coach Matt Busby and Bobby Charlton, who was the last surviving survivor of the Munich air disaster until his death in 2023. It was an absolute shock for the entire world. 8 Manchester United players, 3 members of the club staff, a few journalists and crew members all died as a result of the crash. It was a really harrowing disaster. Fast forward to 2016 and the world of football was hit with an even more fatal air crash. Brazilian club Chapecoense were en route to Colombia for the 2016 Copa Sudamericana finals when their aircraft crashed close to Medellin due to fuel exhaustion. 71 of the 77 passengers and crew on board died instantly, wiping out the entire 22-man Chapecoense squad and 23-man staff bar just 3 players. The news hit the football world so hard, and it was much harder to take because of the large number of casualties. Till date, the 28th of November is still remembered as a dark day in South American and world football. We'll now wrap up with Daniel Jarque, the man whose name Andres Iniesta had on his shirt after he scored the winning goal at the 2010 World Cup final. Jarque, who was a player for Espanyol from the academy right up until his death, died during a pre-season tour back in 2009. He was found in the team hotel in Florence, Italy, and was reported to have suffered a heart attack while on the phone with his 7-month pregnant girlfriend on the 8th of August 2009. He was remembered by so many footballers. Fabregas dedicated his 2nd goal against Everton that year to him. Iniesta dedicated the most important goal in Spanish football history to him, and after Spain won the 2012 Euros, Fabregas once again remembered him with a t-shirt during the trophy celebrations. Espanyol would eventually name the club's training ground and B-Team stadium after him as a show of respect. Those are some football deaths that left the entire world devastated, but of course the deaths of Pele and Maradona had that effect as well. Although neither could be termed as untimely deaths as they were both over 60 at the time of their death, their popularity and admiration among footballers and fans all over the world still made it a difficult pill to swallow. But what would you say has been the most difficult celebrity death for you to take? Tell us in the comments. Feel free to express your feelings any way you want. This is totally a safe space.